We are marching towards Summer Sun Princess, and we've already had our first preview tags for all of our scheduled title matches. Today we'll review those matches and the rest of the Yokohama show. We'll look ahead to the Nagoya show, chat through the schedule for the Tokyo Princess Cup, that's right around the corner, and take a peek at those baseball jerseys everyone's so excited about. All that and more coming up on the Tokyo Joshi Pod. Stay tuned. Hello to all you big children out there. Konnichiwa, and welcome to the Tokyo Joshi Pod, your weekly dose of everything TJPW. I'm your host, Andy Zeich, and we have got a great show prepared for you today. First of all, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hitting that download button, that streaming button. As always appreciate your support. Always love to hear from you guys as well. I've been seeing quite a number of you leaving YouTube comments on the YouTube pods. I was going to say videos, but they're not really videos. But I always appreciate hearing from you guys. I always appreciate the very, very kind words that you share about the show. I'm always happy to have a chat with you about upcoming shows, TJPW shows, who you think might win. So please, by all means, leave some comments. While you're at it, if you do listen to the show on a more traditional podcast platform like Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Audible or anything like that, leaving a review goes a really, really long way. I would really, really appreciate it. I know I don't ask you guys to do that very often, so I'll ask here. I would really appreciate it if you go and leave a review. It does help out the show a lot. But again, I just really appreciate all the support. I always appreciate reading the nice comments. It just brightens up my day a little bit more as I'm going through my daily life. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for tuning in today. I can't believe that we are like halfway through June already, actually more than halfway through June. Like I feel like Vegas just happened, but Vegas was already 2 months ago now. Texas was already like 3 months ago now. It's crazy. I am trying to watch the World Cup. I know I mentioned this in a previous episode. I'm not the biggest soccer fan or world football fan, but I'm trying. I'm trying to watch a little bit of the World Cup. They are running some of the matches here in Los Angeles, and traffic is like bananas on match day. There's literally on the interstates, they have the signs that are saying like be prepared for congestion on these days, and it's literally just because of the World Cup. We had America, like the USA, play here, and on that day it was absolutely bonkers. So I've been trying to keep up with it. I was watching some of the NBA finals, the NHL finals. Both of those were terrific. I'm much more a basketball fan, but both of those finals were absolutely terrific, crazy in like the best possible way, so entertaining. I'm not sure how many of you are more traditional sports fans. I know this is more of a wrestling podcast, but I do always like to ease into the wrestling talk a little bit and just kind of share what's on my mind, share what I'm watching, share like what's current out there with current events. Currently with the podcast, though, I do want to discuss some of the content that we've been putting out, that we are going to be putting out. Earlier this week, we released our first monthly bonus episode for June, where we went back and reviewed the first ever Hype show, and it turned out really, really great. It's not too long of a bonus episode. It's only about 30 or 40 minutes, so a little bit more bite-sized to listen to, but it's a great way to just go back and relive the very first Hype on the road to Hype 4 later this year in September. I kind of got the itch to do the other Hype shows. I mentioned this in that bonus episode, but I just might, in a future bonus episode, do Hype 2 and Hype 3. If you guys are interested in that, please let me know, and I can certainly make that happen. There's a couple of months left until September, so I will certainly pencil that in if that's something you guys would like. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that bonus episode. There is another bonus episode coming out later this month. Likely not the week following the release of this episode, but probably maybe like the last week in June or the second to last week in June. For that one, we're going to be doing a watch along of the Grand Princess Behind the Scenes documentary. That's going to be more of like a traditional watch along, not just a review of the events that went down, but actually sitting down watching it, kind of chatting through it in real time as it happens. That documentary, I think, is about an hour and 20 minutes. So that bonus episode will certainly be a little bit lengthier, but it's a nice companion piece if you haven't seen that documentary yet and you want to watch it while listening to my thoughts on it, or if you've already watched it and you want to rewatch it with a friend in a way. That's kind of the design of that bonus episode. Selfishly, I just really liked that documentary and I want to go back and watch it a second time. So I figured I might as well create a bonus episode out of it because I really, really enjoyed that so much. Today on the show, like I said, we got a lot of fun stuff we're going to talk about. We do have a show to review, the show that went down in Yokohama, where we saw a couple of our first, not a couple, all of our first few preview tags for upcoming title matches at SummerSlam Princess. We do have a show to preview as well. Next week's show in Nagoya. Not too much of note on that card, but we will run through it regardless. There is a couple of news items that we'll chat into, some shows, some schedules for the Tokyo Princess Cup, and then going to do something fun because everybody's been talking about these baseball jerseys and wanting to get their hands on these baseball jerseys. So going to do something fun with the baseball jerseys in a little bit as well. But again, thank you for tuning in today. As always, thank you for all of your support. Let's get this train on a rolling. And Captain Raku will guide us into the news. Jumping into the news, we got a variety of news that we're going to talk about today. I want to start here, though, because TJPW has announced a brand new show concept that's going to be happening in August. Becoming on Saturday, August 29th, from the Tokyo Square in Itabashi, Becoming is going to feature only wrestlers who debuted in the year 2023 or after. So within the TJPW class of wrestlers, that is Wakana Uehara, Himawari, Toga, Haru Kazushiro, Mifu Ishida, Uda Takami, Chika Nanase, Kira Summer, Ren Kanatsu, and then Shion Kanzaki. It's also probably worth noting that Shino is a member of the class of 2023, Shino Suzuki. She was not named in the press release for this show. I hope that means nothing. I hope that she will be back by the end of August. We just don't know. We have no clue into what her circumstances are right now on her leave of absence, but crossing my fingers, here's hoping that Shino will be back within the next 2 months for this show. But essentially what this is going to be, it's almost kind of like New Blood for Stardom. That's the first thing that popped into my head. It's going to be a show that only features younger wrestlers, or rather not necessarily younger wrestlers, but recently debuted wrestlers. No word on if outside wrestlers will participate. It's possible that TJPW invites a handful of younger competitors, or again, not younger competitors, but recently debuted competitors from some other organizations in the same way that Stardom does for New Blood. It's also totally possible that this is just a shorter show, maybe an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes or so, and it will just feature these wrestlers. But I think this is a really cool concept. I know TJPW is very good about finding creative and refreshing ways to bring different ideas to their shows, and this is a fun one. It's not necessarily something that they've focused on before with a show completely devoted to the younger generation members of the roster. Of course, we get the Next Gen tournament every year. We did, what did they call it, the Level Up Trial Series last fall with a handful of singles matches with a younger generation competitor taking on some of the older generation competitors. I think it would have been really neat if they found a way to do the Next Gen tournament at this show, or maybe even just the Next Gen tournament finals at this show. I don't think the timing lines up. I think that tournament is more September, October time. This is kind of right around the Tokyo Princess Cup, actually a little bit after the Tokyo Princess Cup. But regardless, I think this is going to be cool. I've got my eyes on this. We'll have to see if any other names get announced, what the matches are going to look like, and if there's any sort of like other fun ideas that TJPW has up their sleeve for this one. Speaking of the Tokyo Princess Cup, some really exciting news. We now have the full schedule for the Tokyo Princess Cup this year. It's going to be starting on Monday, July 20th from the Act City Hamamatsu. Monday's a holiday. That day is a holiday in Japan. That's why it's not starting on a weekend. And then there will be 6 total shows, including that Monday show, that will run all the way through towards the end of August. So a little more than a month overall. There's that Monday, July 20th show, Saturday, July 25th from the Azalea Taisho Hall, Thursday, July 30th from the Shinjuku Face, likely one of the final times that TJPW will be at Shinjuku Face. Saturday, August 8th from the Ryogoku KFC Hall. Sunday, August 16th from the 176 box in Osaka. And then Sunday, August 23rd, the finals, which will be at Korakuen Hall. So quite the lineup of venues for this year's Tokyo Princess Cup. That's super exciting. 6 shows in total. That's also super exciting. And all of these events TJPW has announced will air live on Wrestle Universe. So fans from across the world will be able to watch these shows as they happen in the moment and keep up to date on all of the Tokyo Princess Cup results and who's moving on to the next round. So super, super exciting. I can't believe this is like a month away. That's wild. Again, I don't even know what day it is right now. We're in the middle of June already. It's crazy, but I'm really looking forward to the Tokyo Princess Cup. We will do a full preview of this as we get a little bit closer. Once we know the competitors and the bracket and all of that, we'll do a full breakdown of the Tokyo Princess Cup. It is truly wide open playing field this year. I know I've said that a few times on recent episodes, but the door is wide open for who can win this year. So really, really excited to see who gets announced, or maybe they'll do some qualifying matches as well to see who qualifies for this year's Tokyo Princess Cup. In a little bit of lighter news, not necessarily news, but just kind of happenings and goings on right now. On YouTube, TJPW has uploaded a couple of vlogs from their North America trip. There are 2 videos posted in particular to YouTube, one that covers Vancouver, one that covers Vegas and Texas. I don't know why they did them in that order. It's a little odd. But both of these, I gave these a watch. Both of these are a lot of fun. If you like behind the scenes content, vlog content like I do, you will certainly really enjoy these videos. One of them is I think it's about 15 minutes, and the other one's closer to half an hour. They give you like a bit of a window into the girls' experiences during their travels, the different meals that they're enjoying. Buc-ee's, of course, makes an appearance, their thoughts about the cities that they go to. There's even a trip to Nassau and Houston. Truthfully, they aren't like the most cohesive vlogs, but we do get this pretty nice gem of Miyu Watanabe desperately trying to pronounce the International Space Station. I'm sure you've seen that clip making the rounds on X already. These are the videos where that now infamous clip is coming from. But those were a lot of fun, and I just wanted to mention those in case you were unaware and wanted to check those out. The other, not necessarily news, but just kind of a fun thing I wanted to do, I've been seeing so much online about these TJPW baseball jerseys that they're making. I think a few weeks ago they announced these baseball jerseys, but I see so many people ordering them and trying to get them shipped here to the States. I think you have to use like a buying service to do it. What I thought would be fun is just to run through the roster and run through the numbers that they've selected and what those numbers signify or what they mean to each of the roster members. Some of you may know this already. There are some other resources online on X, or I think the Dramatic DDT blog website has put out something as well, but I thought it might be fun just to kind of run through all of these and kind of chat through what they all stand for. Going in alphabetical order of roster members, we'll start with Arisu Endo. Arisu's jersey is number 5. Apparently that is Arisu's lucky number, so that's an easy one. Chika Nanase is number 39. That represents her birthday, March 9th. Fumarine is number 630. I wasn't able to find anything as to what that signifies. There's a handful of those that they're either not public or we don't quite know yet. If you happen to know or happen to figure it out, please, by all means, let me know. But Fumarine at number 630. Haru Kazushiro is number 86. This is like a word play on numbers in Japan. The number 8 can be read as Ha, and the number 6 can be read as Ru, so 86, Haru. Himawari is number 3. The number 3 in Japanese is San, which kind of sounds like sun, as in sunflower, so Himawari is 3. Hyper Misao is number 8,183, the old baseball number, right? This is also a play on words with some numbers and like phonetics. 8 could be pronounced Ha, 1, E. 8 could also be pronounced Pa, and then 3, Mi. So you put that all together, you get Haipami, which is a nickname for Hyper Misao, Haipami Misao. Kira Summer is number 82. Still don't know exactly what that significance the number 82 holds for Kira. Ren Kanatsu is number 572. I love when they pick like crazy big numbers. This is also a play on words. 5 could be ko, 7 na, 2 tsu, so konatsu. Mihiro has selected number 4, specifically 04. This is a reference to her favorite German football club that she supports. I'm going to butcher this name, so football fans, German listeners, I apologize. FC Schalke 04. So it's a reference to her favorite football team. Mifu Ashida, number 32. 3 can be read as mi in Japanese. 2 can be read as fu. So again, Mifu, pretty self-explanatory. Mi Watanabe, number 19. Her birthday is October 19th. That's where that comes from. Miyu Yamashita has selected number 1. This is a reference to her status in the company as the ace, as the leader, the number 1. Mizuki has selected 316 because, of course, she's a big Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. Totally kidding. That is not what it is, but I do love Mizuki 316. Mizuki's birthday is March 16th, 316. Palm Harajuku, number 46. Again, some wordplay here. 4 can be read as po, and 6 can be read as mu, pomu. Raku has chosen number 700. This is a reference to a train that she really likes, the N700 series Shinkansen. Rika Tatsumi, number 15. This is a reference to the year that she adopted the ring name Rika Tatsumi, which was 2015. Sakura Hattori has chosen number 91, still unconfirmed as to what that means. Shino Suzuki, number 7. Shino was born in July, the 7th month of the year. Shion Kanzaki, number 211. Shion's birthday is February 11th. Rise Shirai has picked number 0. Still unconfirmed as to what that means. My best guess is that Rise is not like a full-time roster member as a wrestler. And so the number 0 maybe signifies that like she's a part of the set, a part of the group, but she is like a little bit different from everybody else. She's the 0 as the others are numbered. That's my best guess. I could be making that up though. Shoko Nakajima, 147, pretty easy one. She is the 1.47 meter big kaiju. Suzume, number 8. 8 can be read as hachi in Japanese, which also means bee. Suzume bee. Vivid Honey Mustard. Toga, number 227. Her birthday is on February 27th. Uda Takami, 329. Her birthday is on March 29th. Wakana Uehara, number 513. Her birthday is May 13th. Yuki Aino, 25. Her birthday is October 25th. Yuki Arai, 57. Her birthday is May 7th. A lot of these are birthdays. And then last but not least, Yuki Kamifuku. Kamiyu has chosen 173. That is a reference to her height, 173. Hopefully that was a little fun, something maybe you knew these, maybe you didn't. A lot of these are birthday related. A lot of these are wordplay related. I'm very curious what like Sakura's number references, Kira Summer's number references. Maybe it's something a little more personal. But I had a lot of fun kind of putting these together and researching and understanding who chose what. I love that Mihiro's is very different, a reference to her favorite football club. I love that Arisu has just chosen her lucky number. I also love Yamashita just cementing her status as the top dog, number 1. Of course, Raku picking something ridiculous, number 700, because it's train related. Of course she did. And Mizuki, 316, because she loves beer and she loves Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Now, I haven't purchased a baseball jersey. I'm not a big baseball jersey person. That's the only reason. But like I say, I know a lot of people that have, and a lot of people are very excited for this. These are being sold on the TJPW website if you would like to grab one. And then again, you do have to use some sort of a buying service probably to get it to your country, unless, of course, you are located in Japan. But just something fun that I wanted to do there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. On a little bit more of a serious note, we actually have a show to review this week, and let's go ahead and jump on into that. TJPW Spring Tour Next Door in Yokohama. Saturday, June 13th was the date of this show. It went down at the Yokohama Radiant Hall in Kanagawa, Japan. This was live on Wrestle Universe, came in a little under 2 hours, so it was a little bit of a shorter show from TJPW. No absences for this one, but they did manage to sell out the venue. 273 people in attendance. TJPW also noted it was standing room only. The last time TJPW was at the Yokohama Radiant Hall was just back in January for the opening round of the Max Heart tournament. That was also a sellout, 273. We opened up with Rise Shirai giving her opening remarks and her house rules. This is also where she announced that Becoming show. And then the Up Up girls came out. They sang Love You More. Our opening contest was a singles match. Yuki Kamifuku went one-on-one with Shion Kanzaki. Kamiyu was back in more of her regular gear. She did not have the gear that she wore at Standalone in her title challenge. She invited Shion to sing at the beginning of this match, but she booted her in the gut when she started to sing, and she got booed pretty loudly for that. Shion turned the tables into that Shion Ganbare spot that she does, which I thought was a little bit comical, just how big Kamiyu is, just kind of standing there in the corner while Shion was going through this call and response. Kamiyu does eventually get the upper hand back. She mocked Shion quite a bit. She probably does that better than anybody else, I would say. Shion briefly got a sleeper hold locked in. She blocked an octopus stretch. She even body slammed Kamiyu at one point, which was a really nice looking body slam, but ultimately, it is Kamiyu who gets the submission victory in 6 minutes and 52 seconds with a modified octopus stretch. Truthfully, Kamiyu was always winning this. She's going to get that momentum back after her Princess of Princess title loss. Up next, we had a tag team contest. Himawari and Mifu Ashida continued tagging together. They took on the team of Uda Takami and Toga. Interesting pairing there. We got some quick exchanges between Mifu and Uda and Toga and Himawari to start us out. Himawari used some early hair whips, and then she tried to outpower Toga, which, that ain't happening. Toga blocks some more hair whips. She locks in a chin lock. Mifu jumped in the ring to cheer Himawari on, not like actually helping her, just trying to cheer her on to get out of that chin lock. Amazingly, it worked ever so briefly, but Mifu eventually had to blind Toga with the pom-poms, get a little bit more hands-on with her help. Himawari and Mifu then do that helicopter hair whip spot that they're doing. I don't think Himawari likes it too much. Mifu sure seems to like it, though. Toga was not impressed. She started going to work on Mifu, putting her in the same holds, then hitting some double-team offense with Uda. Uda and Himawari then share the ring for a little bit, with Uda latching on the koala clutch. Himawari, a little bit too strong for that koala clutch, though. She shoves Uda into the corner, hits her with some hair whips. Mifu and Toga then go at it again, with Mifu getting the upper hand this time. Toga starts to power her way back. She hits the Rolling Thunder, but Mifu uses some of her flexibility to kick out of a chin lock, and then she kicks Toga in the head a couple of times. Some really nice kicks from Mifu. I think she's been working quite a bit on those and really showed here. Himawari and Uda then jump in. Himawari lands a big-time power slam. Toga then hits a very strong lariat, and the Absolute Zero beats Mifu Ashida in 10 minutes and 3 seconds. Our next contest was a three-way match. We saw the popping sugar rabbit, Mizuki, take on our ever-loving 3-year-old Pom Harajuku, and the girl that saves everyone with her smile, Arisu Endo. What a crazy concoction of competitors here. Pom immediately takes off her shoes at the bell, and Arisu is like, the heck are you doing, dude? Arisu and Mizuki decide to work together to attack Pom, but a little bit of selfishness leads them to eventually turn on one another, which allows Pom to take the lead and attack Mizuki with the Den Den Daiko. She was using her shoes for it. That couldn't feel good. Mizuki, though, manages to lock her in a crossface. Amazingly, Arisu comes back and gets both competitors into a camel clutch. That was really cool looking. Arisu and Mizuki have a nice exchange, followed by Arisu and Pom. Basically, they settled into this pattern where two of the ladies would go at it, and then the third would jump in to break up a pinfall attempt. That was kind of the cycle they were going through. Arisu got Mizuki up for the Juno Okite, but Pom shin kicked her, then hit her with a shoe. Mizuki, though, managed to lock in the crossface on Pom. TJPW calls that move the Southern Cross. That ultimately gets her the submission victory in 7 minutes and 22 seconds. And of course, afterwards, she tosses Pom's shoes into the crowd just to add a little bit of insult to injury. We then had a series of preview tag matches for our upcoming title matches at Standalone, starting off with the first preview tag for the International Princess title matchup. On one side of the ring, we had Suzume teaming with her BFF, recently defeated competitor Mahiro Kiryu, and on the other side, we had our challenger for this belt, Wakana Uehara, teaming with Chika Nanase. Suzume and Wakana grappled around on the mat a bit to start. Mahiro tagged in, but Suzume and Wakana started slugging one another, and Mahiro was just kind of like, okay, like, am I tagging in or am I not tagging in? She jumped in to support Suzume, and then Wakana and Mahiro started slugging each other before Mahiro started to apologize. Chika also tagged in, had a bit of a back and forth with Mahiro. Mahiro executed this really nice looking like surfboard stretch style submission. She was in the apology position on top of Chika, rolled backwards to then lock in this surfboard submission, and then rolled forwards again to apologize a second time. I just thought it looked really nice. I hadn't seen that from Mahiro before. We get some rapid combos of all four of the women, but ultimately find ourselves back to Suzume and Wakana. Suzume hits a few face busters. Wakana very nearly gets the banana pillow locked in. Chika comes back in, but Suzume dispatches of her pretty easily. Wakana has to jump in for some double team attacks to kind of help Chika get the upper hand. She very, very briefly gets the Inari Tori locked in, but things ultimately break down between all four of the women. Mahiro manages to hit a double lariat, eliminates Wakana from the ring. Chika then hits a really stiff elbow butt, but Suzume rolls through the Inari Tori, nails the ring a bell in 11 minutes even for the victory. We got a couple of backstage comments for this, seeing as it is a preview tag. Suzume said, quote, "Hungry-chan, I thought you were coming into this with the intention of taste testing. Are you already full?" Wakana was asked how Suzume tasted. Yes, seriously, that was what she was asked. And she said, quote, "A taste with quite a lot of thorns, a little spicy, with a sharp aftertaste. This seems like it will really linger." Get ready for a lot of this, because this is Wakana's theme kind of heading into this match is, I'm going to swallow you whole, I'm going to eat you up. And now Suzume's in on it saying, "Hungry-chan, I thought you were going to get a taste test. What happened? Are you full?" The fact that somebody asked how Suzume tasted is absurd. What a crazy question to ask somebody, but Wakana just played it straight. And she gave a very specific answer that kind of describes Suzume. Very, very early stages preview tag here, but I do have to say I did like what I saw between Wakana and Suzume, especially in that slugfest. They had a lot of attitude behind it. We have a few more of these preview tags upcoming, so I'm excited to see kind of how that animosity between the two continues to develop. Our semifinal match was our first Princess Tag Title preview tag, where we saw Daydream, our current champions, team up with Ren Kanatsu. They took on our alleged challengers, Kiraku Kiyome and Raku. Now I say alleged because Kiraku Kiyome, after Standalone, has gone on record to say, "We've never agreed to anything. You put us into these Sasumata polls, and we have never agreed. We do not want this tag team match. We have formed the challenge cancellation community." And we saw that here. Kiraku Kiyome came out with signage saying "firm refusal" and "challenge canceled." Before the match, Misao even took the microphone and said that the challenge cancellation community firmly refuses the challenge, and the title match for Standalone is canceled. Daydream tried to say, "Listen, it's already scheduled, so I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's already put on the books." So Misao says, "Okay, fine. You know what? If we win today, the match is canceled, so all you guys have to do is beat us." So the stakes were set for this semifinal match. The two up girls start us out. Raku tried to do some of her posing, but Watanabe basically strong arms her all around the ring. Shoko and Ren tag in for a little bit of high-speed style action, but then Misao and Rika tag in, and Misao wants like nothing to do with Rika, so she immediately tags out and Raku has to come back in. Rika ends up choking Raku around instead, with Misao kind of getting in a little sneak choke of her own, and Rika then literally chased her. She was so upset she chased Misao all the way back into the backstage area. Raku, technically the legal competitor, is just kind of posing during all of this. Miyu Watanabe eventually has to go to the back and get Rika and like carry her back into the ring. Like, dude, come on, lock in. Like, we're in the middle of a match here. Carries her all the way back to the ring. Misao very quietly sneaks her way back as well. And then Rika and Misao are finally starting to go at it in the ring. We also get some combinations of Misao and Miyu Watanabe, Miyu and Shoko, and Raku and Ren as well. Ren hits the Ares Comet on Raku. She gets in the shoulder bite submission. Raku counterattacks with a guillotine choke, and then things really start to break down. Raku barely escapes a Daydream Eternity, beats up on Ren for a little bit more. When Ren goes to tag out, Kiraku Kiyome pulls Daydream off the apron, so Raku decides to take advantage of this. She locks Ren into a hammerlock submission that I'm going to call the Sleepy Time hammerlock because she kind of poses and falls asleep during it. Kiraku Kiyome are really stealing all of the crowd's attention off camera. I think the camera was focusing on the wrong thing here because we don't see what everybody's looking at outside the ring between the two tag teams. We're just looking at this prolonged Ren Kanatsu trying to sell the hammerlock and make it into the ropes. I definitely do think we were supposed to see what was happening outside of the ring at this point, but eventually Misao tags in, and then we finally get a glimpse of what was going on because Daydream start to slowly enter the ring, and they are taped to chairs. They have to rip themselves free of these chairs, and they start hitting Shoko and Raku with the chairs. What did Raku do to anybody? Why is Raku getting hit with a chair? Misao wrestles with Rika over the chair, and Fumarine accidentally gets taken out. Ah, poor Fumarine. Rika takes the chair back, but then she accidentally hits Miyu Watanabe with it. It was like anarchy at this point. Raku managed to eliminate Rika with a Popo chop, and then Shoko hits a tope onto Daydream outside. Misao is left alone in the ring with Ren Kanatsu to connect with the Haipami returns in 14 minutes and 55 seconds. That's her version of the final cut that the Big Show used to do. After the match is over, Kiraku Kiyome start to flaunt their protest signs, but Daydream grab them out of their hands, they rip them up, and Kiraku Kiyome is just beside themselves. They're like, come on, guys, we won fair and square, get over it. Fair and square, of course. Your mileage may vary with the chair attacks. Backstage, Kiraku Kiyome said, because they won, the title match is now officially canceled. That was the stipulation that we all agreed to. Mid-comment, Daydream burst into the comment area with the Sasumata poles. Raku barely makes it out of there alive, and allegedly obtain yet another agreement from Kiraku Kiyome that they will do the match. Now, I couldn't tell you the last time chairs got involved in a TJPW match, at least not in this way. Every once in a blue moon, we will see some of like the chair bowling or ringside fans getting involved in some way, but never to the point, almost like sports entertainment, WWE style, AEW style, where they are hitting each other with these chairs over the back. Like, it's just not that kind of promotion. So this was shocking to see, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was fun. I mean, it was all done very safely, of course. No one took any chair shot to the head or anything crazy, but it was just so different and refreshing, something that we never, ever, ever see on a TJPW show. And I feel like it adds to the story they're telling here with Kiraku Kiyome not wanting anything to do with this title match, yet they're going to do all this crazy stuff like tape the champions to chairs and kind of cheat and hit them with chairs and all this stuff, but yet they really truly want nothing to do with them. So I guess what's one way to fight off a Sasumata pole attack? Maybe it's with a chair. And in our main event, we had another 6-woman tag. This one, our first preview tag for the Princess of Princess title matchup coming. On one side, we had our champion, the Genius Girl, Yuki Arai. She teamed up with Prism Greed, Yuki Aino, and Haru Kazushiro. On the other side of things, our challenger, the Pink Striker, the leader, the ace of TJPW, Miyu Yamashita. She teamed up with her kick-slash tag partner, Sakura Hattori, and the Chaos Spark, Kira Summer. The champion and challenger started us out, but they really just kind of felt each other out. They didn't really do too much. The blue two then tag in Kira and Haru, with Kira getting the clear early advantage there using some of her strength. Aino was very, very upset with Kira using Yamashita for help, so Kira kind of challenged Aino, and Aino hopped into the ring. That allowed Prism Greed to start hitting some tandem offense. Haru remains as the legal competitor. Kick Slash then get some tandem offense in of their own. They start taking turns working over Haru. Aino then tags in legitimately here, has a brief exchange with Yamashita before Arai comes back in for round 2 of that. Yamashita makes, quite frankly, easy work of her, nailing probably the loudest return crush I've heard in a long time. Like, it easily could have knocked out some of Arai's teeth. Kira Summer tags in to face Arai. Things quickly break down, everybody gets in the ring. Kick Slash accidentally kick each other. Prism Greed then stereo suplex them, pull them out of the equation. Kira lands a pretty strong drop kick and a Samoan slam, but Arai returns with a kick to the face. She lines up for a finally, but Yamashita jumps in, kicks her leg in defense of Kira. Arai boots Yamashita in the face, tosses her out of the ring. She manages to hit a full Nelson Buster on Kira, then locks in the Scorpion Lock, and Kira Summer taps out in 11 minutes and 41 seconds. After the match is over, Arai and Yamashita have a little bit of a stare down. Arai gets on the microphone. She says Miyu kicked her one too many times, and she can't quite think straight, but it doesn't matter because she will win next month. Prism Greed get on the mic. They say, look at this. Our color scheme between the three of us really works well together, and if you add Haru and Aino together, apparently you get Yuki Arai, because Arai wears both red and blue. The three of them then close the show. They opt to go for Chinese food, with Aino saying that she wants a side of fried rice with her white rice. This is like a little bit of an insider baseball Yuki Aino thing. She frequently talks about loving rice so much that she will eat fried rice as a side dish for her white rice. So this is truly how they ended the show. They ended the show just basically scheduling their dinner plans. Backstage, Arai said that she took quite a lot of offense today and she needs to really polish her strikes for next time. Yamashita said that she was very excited that the preview tags have begun and that she was beaten back a little bit when she tried to get involved there at the end. She said that she would rather be the decisive impact down the stretch of the match in the next matchup. I think both of these ladies summed up the match really exactly as I felt with it. Yamashita delivered a lot of offense at the beginning portions, but Arai kind of stepped up when it counted at the end and repelled Yamashita away. I hope that they build on their exchanges a little bit more next week. I think Arai should look just a little bit stronger going into that big title match. But then again, it's been one match. There's still plenty of previews yet to come. Other things on this show that I enjoyed, really liked the Wakana and Suzume stuff. I know I mentioned that already. I think that match has some potential behind it. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. The Princess Tag Team stuff, it's entertaining. Like, obviously, they are going to have the title match, but like, it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of fun getting there, right? This show, overall, pretty good show. The first step in a very, very long road to Summer Sun Princess, over a month away still before we get to Summer Sun Princess. The next stop on that very long road to Summer Sun Princess will happen on Sunday, June 21st, TJPW Spring Tour next door in Nagoya. This will take place at the Aichi Chunichi Hall. It will be live on Wrestle Universe, 11 p.m. on Saturday the 20th, 8 p.m. Pacific time. So a little bit later of a show for TJPW, but still one that you can watch live. We do have two absences due to scheduling conflicts. That will be Himawari and Mifu Ashita. I believe that Himawari is taking part in another stage play or some sort of an acting gig, and I would venture to guess that is why she's going to miss this show. Mifu, as we know, does quite a lot outside of TJPW as a Japanese cultural ambassador. Perhaps that is one of the reasons for why she's missing this. But both of these two, Himawari and Mifu Ashita, absent from this one due to scheduling conflicts. This will be an interesting card. We have a 3-way contest, 2 singles matches, and 4 tag team matches. In no particular order here, the 3-way match will see Palm Harajuku, Mahiro Kiryu, and Sakura Hattori mix it up. Another interesting combination of ladies there. One of the tag matches will see Mizuki and Uda Takami teaming together. They're going to go up against the very interesting pairing of Yuki Kamifuku and Raku. That kind of feels like miscommunication waiting to happen, but then again, during the Wrestle Universe members show where Kamiyu cosplayed as Raku, they seemed somewhat on the same wavelength, so maybe it'll work out. I'm curious to find out. We'll have another tag matchup with Prism Greed. They're going to take on the team of Toga and Chika Nanase. Team that I'm pretty intrigued by, Toga and Chika. I kind of feel like they can learn a thing or two from one another, and I wouldn't hate seeing Toga and Chika in the Max Heart tournament next year. I know that Toga has Yuna Manase, a tag team hotshot together, but Yuna also sidelined right now due to a couple of medical issues. Hopefully by the time the Max Heart tournament rolls around, she'll be A-okay. It's still quite a ways away, but I do kind of like this pairing, Toga Chika. I'm a little bit intrigued to see how they work together. We'll have another tag matchup, Daisy Monkey going to be teaming together. They are going to take on Kira Summer and Wakana Uehara. So this will function as our second International Princess preview tag matchup, of course. Suzume with the upper hand from the show we just chatted on, 1-0, although there was no direct pinfall there. The two singles matches that we're going to get are actually quite interesting, and they're probably going to be actually really, really good. Essentially, they are splitting the Princess Tag Team Champions and the Challengers, so we will see Shoko Nakajima go one-on-one with Rika Tatsumi, and then Miyu Watanabe go one-on-one with Hyper Misao. So these are going to be our second and third preview tags for the Princess Tag title matchup. The slight edge, of course, going to Kiraku Kiyome in both of those. Their team winning the 6-woman tag that we just spoke about, although they did not defeat a member of Daydream. Now, with these matches featuring talent that have been around in TJPW for a number of years, of course, we have some head-to-head records as well. Shoko and Rika have met a whopping 11 times before. Shoko Nakajima owns the slight edge. She has 5 victories. Rika has 3 victories. They've also drew 3 times. Misao and Miyu Watanabe have met 5 times themselves. Surprisingly, Misao holds the edge here. She has 3 victories to her name. Watanabe only has 1, and then they've also drawn once as well. I imagine that either next week or the week after, they will flip-flop these, so we'll see Shoko take on Miyu, Rika take on Misao, but we'll just have to wait and see about that. I like this idea of doing singles matches. Both of these singles matches on paper are terrific. Like the fact that we're going to get Shoko Nakajima and Rika Tatsumi on a spring tour show here, that's incredible. Really looking forward to both of these. And then what I imagine will be the main event, our second Princess of Princess preview tag. Yuki Arai will team up with Ren Kanatsu. They're going to take on Miyu Yamashita and Shion Kanzaki. Of course, Arai holds the slight edge, winning that first preview tag where she tapped out Kira. Also of note here, Ren is kind of like living out a little bit of a dream. Ren is a huge SKE48 fan. Of course, Arai is no longer a full-time member of SKE48, but still, you have to imagine that Ren is going to really enjoy teaming up with someone who was in SKE48 for a number of years. Also, of course, it's a main event, right? So her and Shion have to love the fact that they are paired with such top-level talent in the company, and they are main eventing this show in Nagoya. So this is shaping up to be another pretty solid house show from TJPW. A lot of preview matches. The singles matches, I think, are going to be pretty tasty looking on paper. And of course, big time main event there. Really excited to see how they continue building on really all of these matches, the International Princess matchup, the Princess of Princess matchup. And then I am a little curious to see where we go with this storyline of the cancellation challenge cancellation committee, or whatever that they're called, the Triple Cs. Looking a bit beyond TJPW, there is one graduate that I want to talk about this week. That is MIRAI. I say graduate, but she's also kind of moonlighting in TJPW from time to time too. Regardless, MIRAI had a match on Monday, June 15th at the Big Noah show, Wrestle Magic. She was up against the Great Sakuya to go for the vacant GHC Women's Championship. MIRAI managed to defeat the Great Sakuya and win that vacant GHC Women's Championship. So MIRAI continues to collect some gold in her freelancer days, or I suppose she's not a freelancer. She's with Michinoku Pro, but her post-Marigold days, or post-Stardom days, we'll say. We know that MIRAI is scheduled to compete at Summer Sun Princess. We don't know who her matchup is against yet. Perhaps TJPW can strike a deal with Noah. They are all under that Cyberfight umbrella. They are all under the Wrestle Universe umbrella. Maybe we'll see Mirai defend the GHC Women's Championship on this show. Maybe that's why they were holding off on announcing her matchup. We'll just have to wait and see. I think that'd be really exciting to see something like that happen. On the excursions side of things, there are two that we have our eyes on. Nothing new here, so I will very quickly breeze over them. On Saturday, July 18th, about a month or so away, Kira Summer will be on her tour of Australia. Again, remember, Kira Summer will be missing about a month's worth of time starting at that Summer Sun Princess show. Her very first show in Australia will be for ACW Adelaide Championship Wrestling, their show titled Heart of War. And then later on July 26th, Kitsune is having their show Stay With Me in Los Angeles, where Sayuri Namba is going to be their MC. Interesting piece of news, Sayuri Namba actually announced that this is likely her final show in America before she returns to Japan. Didn't know that that was in the cards for her, but from what it sounds like, Sayuri will imminently be heading back to Japan. I don't know if that is permanently or temporarily. Do not know why she will be heading back to Japan. She's been in Canada now for, if not a year, right around a year, maybe give or take a little bit. I'm not going to speculate on why she's going back to Japan. It could be any number of reasons, so that's her decision. Regardless, we will continue to follow Sayuri Namba, whether she is in America, Canada, Japan, whether she finds her way back to TJPW. Sayuri's great at everything she does. Had the pleasure of meeting her a couple of times in Texas and Las Vegas as well. So really looking forward to this Kitsune show and now sort of being a little part of history. Sayuri Namba's final American booking here before she heads back on to Japan. So excited for that one. And of course, we'll get some content while we're there as well, and maybe even do a little bit of a deep dive episode or like a bonus episode about this show as well. All that being said, that is going to bring us to the end of this episode. Mizuki 316 is going to crack open a cold spray and hand you an ice pack. On next week's episode, we're going to review the Nagoya show that we talked about. We'll also preview the very final stop on the spring tour. It is very aptly titled Next Door Final. I hope you enjoyed the show today. If you did, you can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We are literally everywhere, so you don't miss out on any future episodes. You can follow us at Tokyo Joshi Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and X. You can also send us an email, tokyojoshipod@gmail.com. But above all else, remember to keep your hearts burning, stay magical, my friends, and we'll see you next week on the Tokyo Joshi Pod.